Good morning, happy Monday, happy Martin Luther King Day, everyone, and God bless all of you. Hope y'all are having an awesome, spectacular day. So I know I am so far. I'm ready to get this show on the road. I'm gonna touch base on some things like since I've started wanting to get back out into like the dating scene, I just want to bring to everyone's attention of if you're going to use like dating apps, like especially the Christian dating apps, I'm noticing a lot of catfishing going on a lot of these apps. So for you men and women out there, just be on high alert. That's still a major problem going on with those apps. I've already snatched up a lot of those catfishes. Like I use a software where I can do like a facial recognition thing where it lets me know exactly who that person is. So like definitely be aware of that, because that's becoming a huge problem, you guys. So like be on high alert. I don't know if women are dealing with it as much as the men are, but like I'm dealing with it a lot, and it's making me not want to use them anymore, honestly. It's making me rethink wanting to even date now because of all that. But other than that, like I hope all of you are just aware of that. And other than that, hopefully you guys are enjoying your Monday morning and just relaxing. I decided to just do this early just because I wanted to just have fun, enjoy my day off, get on here and chit chat with all of you. My Twitch affiliate anniversary is coming up here soon. February 7th is the anniversary date, so I'm planning to do a all day kind of stream thing and try to stream as long as I can. I may do some like partial podcasting things, stuff like just chatting kind of things there, and then I might play some games. Like I might do some Fortnite matches and some Call of Duty. So if some of y'all want to jump in on that action and play with me, let's do it. Like let's get a lobby and just start playing some rounds of either COD or Fortnite. Like I'm game for all that. Like I'm always down to game with other gamers, so like, it'll be a lot of fun. I'll definitely try to do like a subathon for like my affiliate anniversary on the 7th of February, so any support will be greatly appreciated. But like I hope all of you are finding ways to like stay positive. That's a never-ending battle, unfortunately. Like we're always going to have those on and off days where we're dealing with sadness, depression, but just remember, like, you can't give up. Like you gotta definitely keep fighting, because if you just up and give up and you don't want to like fight, then you're lying to let your demons win, and you don't want to let your demons win. So definitely, like if you feel like you're struggling and you feel like you're at wit's end, go seek professional help. Or if you're a Christian or whatever religion you're in, pray to God. Like ask for God to guide you, and like I do recommend you trying to make that connection with God. Like I do feel Jesus is very real. He literally came and saved me. Like I really do believe he died on the cross for all our sins. So like definitely like find some type of solaceness and trying to find something that's going to make you happy and make you feel positive. But like never give up a good fight against your demons. Like keep fighting and pushing through it no matter how hard things get. Like, and same thing, like if you're having trouble in your relationship, like whether it's your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever it is for you couples out there. Like, if you love that person, you both feel the same love, it's always worth fighting for that relationship. Like, if you feel that it's worth fighting for, keep fighting for it. Because if you know deep down that's your soulmate, it doesn't matter what it is, keep fighting for your soulmate. There's always going to be ups and downs in relationships and marriages. That's just part of life. Like, you're going to get into arguments, but you got to remember also, sometimes arguments are healthy for relationships. So, like, if there's something that just didn't sit right with what one of you said, address it. Like, address it like an adult. Don't bottle it up. Don't ignore the person. Just say, hey, can we talk about this like an actual adult? And then, like, and face it head on, because that's the only way it's going to make your relationship stronger, if you communicate. Because communication is the key in any kind of relationship. It doesn't matter if it's a romantic relationship or it's friendships. Without that communication, that bond is never going to stay a bond. So, like, you're not going to be able to stay on that level if there's no communication. Communication is key to everything you do. Same thing when, like, you work. It's important to communicate with, like, your supervisors or your boss if you make a mistake, because if you just don't say anything, you're just going to get yourself in more trouble, or it could cause you to lose your job. So, like, it's always better to be honest and just let your supervisor, your boss, know if you made a mistake, because then that way they know you can be trusted. Because if you try to sneak and hide your mistake and they eventually find out, then they're going to end up just writing you up, and then that's going to go on your permanent jacket. So try to, like, be honest with your supervisor or manager. Even if you just don't like them, it's better just to let them know anyways, because then that way they know you're taking the initiative and you're not trying to get on their bad side. But other than that, I just feel communication, trust, honesty, loyalty goes a long way, especially for, like, relationships. But, like, yeah, just be very, very careful if you're gonna go the dating app route. Like, I'm really thinking about not even doing that route anymore, just mainly because it's just too much catfishing. And I kind of feel like if God wants me to have a girlfriend or whatever, I think He'll provide me with one. I just need to just be patient with that and let Him do His magic and let Him do His work on that, instead of going and looking. I just feel like it's just better not to look. It's just better just to let it happen on its own. So just remember, like, it's better to just wait. Don't go looking. Like, if you want to look, that's fine, but sometimes when you look, you may not get the right person that you should be getting. Even though they could be attractive, they could be what you consider a 10 or a 9 or an 8, and whatever it is on that beauty scale mark, whatever you people want to go with on that. Like, I could care less about those things, because to me, in the long run, personality, honesty, and what's inside is more important to me than looks. Like, you can be the most good-looking person on the face of the planet, but if you don't have a good personality and good heart, I'm not going to waste the time and day with you. And that's the same thing with some of these multi-millionaires who are on that 1% range. They just want loyalty. They want someone they know they can trust. And if you're just there to try to hook up with them, because not just because they're good looking, but just because of how much money they have, that's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. That's actually a very unhealthy thing to have where you're just caring more about something like that, and you don't want to care about stuff like that. You just want to try to like lower the bar, like find a relationship with God so that way God can help you lower your bar a little bit, because it's not good to care all about looks. Like, I understand finances are somewhat important, yes they are, but you gotta remember budgeting is the key to anything. Budgeting is more important than how much someone's making. Like, if that person, like, yeah, you can have someone that is making 500 grand to over $1 million annually, but if they don't know how to budget, it's pointless to even be with that person, because budgeting is everything. Because if you don't budget and invest wisely, you're literally spending your money, and you're gonna eventually leave yourself with nothing to show for it later on down the road. So like, this is the reason why millionaires stay millionaires, because they focus on making smart investments, not careless investments, smart investments. So that means they're taking time doing research. If it's not their strong suit to do research, they sit with someone that knows what they're doing. And if they feel this is a smart investment, they're going to go with it, and they're going to have their attorney involved, because they want to make sure it is a good, legitimate investment to get involved in. So like, it's important to have a business state of mind, and like, you gotta be smart. So like, my recommendation for some of you entrepreneurs and you social media like people who are like on top of your game as an influencer, invest your money. Don't just blow it on buying it and all these nice things. Be smart with your money. Like, invest in businesses. Like, that's the best advice I can give you top-notch influencers, because some of y'all are doing the most stupid things with your money, where that's the time you should be using that to invest in businesses, to keep doubling, tripling your source of income. Like, this is why a lot of these top celebrities most of the time are never going to go broke, because they're investing their money in businesses, or they're creating their own businesses that can generate revenue. So this is why they stay wealthy. So like, this is why it's important, if you become like a millionaire, or you're close to that millionaire status, be smart with your money. Invest. Like, don't be stupid blowing it on unnecessary things. Like, it's okay to spoil yourself with things. Like, go ahead, buy yourself one nice decent home, one nice car or SUV that you've always wanted. Like, it's okay to do that, but you don't need to get no more than one of those things. If you're just wasting to get all these things, and you're not investing that money in anything else, you're gonna end up in a financial bind later on when it comes tax time. And believe me, it's gonna happen. I've seen a lot of athletes back in the 90s who were making all this money from when they're in the NBA, or they were in the Major League Baseball system. A lot of them were not investing their money in smart businesses. They weren't being smart with it, and they ended up being broke. Some of them are still flat broke because they did not invest their money. They didn't think. They just kept doing and doing. And if you're at that level status where you have all that money, do not give your friends all this money. If they come out and they ask for a handout, it's okay to do it one time, but let them know this is just a one-time thing. I'm not going to do it again. So if you blow this and you don't use it in the way that you should use it, don't come back to me later. I don't care how long I've known a friend or whatever. If I was in that wealthy financial situation where I was like some of these NBA players or some of these influencers, I would not be blowing my money on some of these people, like especially friends. You gotta remember, friends come and go. If you really want to give money to people, do something where it can be a tax write-off. Like give it to like non-profit organizations. That's a great huge tax write-off. If you want to give money to like certain people, give it to people that you know deserve it. Don't just give it to anyone just because you knew them a long time. That don't mean grits. I'm sorry, it don't mean grits. You could say, oh, I've known this guy for 20 years or whatever. But the thing is, you need to think, is this person deserving of some money? If not, don't give them anything. Like if you want to get them something nice like a watch or something, or you want to gift them a car, that's fine. But be smart. Don't just give them money just because of the fact that, oh, you've known them 20, 30 years. That don't mean grits. Because, yeah, they may have been there through your good times, but keep in mind, were they there for you during your darkest times? The ones that stuck with you through your dark times and your hard times and the good times, those are the people you are going to want to do something for. Do not do anything for those who just come and go, or they're just only there for your good times. Never for the bad times. Because those people are what you call snakes. Those are the snakes that are going to leech off of you. Those leeches, they're going to attach themselves to you because now you're doing good. Now you're eating good. Now you're doing all this. You're succeeding in things. And some of them are going to be jealous of that. So they're going to try to attach themselves to you during the good times. But when you start going downhill and you start going through the bad times, they detach and leave. They leave you there in the gutter alone. So be smart about that. So that's why I hope some of you top influencers out there, be smart with your money. Like, please. Like, don't do stupid things with it. Like, don't do ignorant things like you get a car that's close to $1 million and crash it on the damn freeway. Don't do stupid crap like that. I'm like, that's money that you should have been using to invest in businesses. Take a page out of Mr. Beast's book. Why do you think he's so successful? Why do you think he's doing what he's doing? Why do you think he's on the top? Because he is being smart with his money. He's not being an idiot with it. He's actually investing in things that are going to keep generating revenue for him. So that's the reason why I respect people like him. He may do the most outrageous things sometimes, but I guarantee off the stream, he's a smart, intelligent person that knows what he's doing because it's a gimmick. Most of these influencers have a gimmick that they're doing to be able to keep generating. That's why it's important to find that niche, find that gimmick that works with your personality. You don't want to copy off of another influencer. Come up with your own ideals. Just be yourself overall, because that's, in the long run, that's what people want to see, is you being your genuine self, not trying to copy off of another person. The reason why people like Mr. Beast are so successful is they started off as being themselves first, and then as time went on, they knew how to create a character to keep drawing people in. So you got to be smart. Sometimes you got to think how you're going to keep going on with what you're doing. So that's the reason why I do recommend, like, pay attention to what they do. Like, watch even the smallest things. Like, you'll catch some of the smallest things that they're doing if you pay close attention to what they're doing on their videos. You can see exactly what it is that they're doing. You just gotta pay close attention to the details of what they're doing. Like, that's the same thing like with some of these top-notch gaming streamers. Pay close attention to those partners. They're partners for a reason, because they know what they're doing. It's not just it's not just about luck. It's just they figured out a way to make it to that level. And it doesn't matter if it's here on YouTube or it's on Twitch. Watch those partners. Watch the top partners that generate the most revenue. I guarantee you're going to learn some tips from them just by watching their videos on how well they do things. Take notes. Pay attention, because those are the people who are not going to go away anytime soon. People on Twitch, people like Soda Poppin'. He's not going to go away anytime soon. Ninja's not going to go away anytime soon. Especially those of you who are gamers, pay close attention to those guys. They know what they're doing. There's a reason why they're there. Like, they're still where they're at, because they're adapting constantly to the vibe and the things that are really going on. So pay close attention to those things. Take notes. Like, just because they don't really engage with their chat very much and they're just letting the chat go sporadically, there's a reason for why they do that. They're focusing on game because they want to make sure their gameplay is top notch to where people want to keep watching. And they'll stop here and there and talk and notice certain things in chat, and then they'll say something. But the reason why they're where they're at is because they keep working on themselves. They always thinking off a stream. I promise you, they're thinking of what's the next thing I can do to take it to that next step. And they keep climbing up that ladder every single time because they want to keep setting that bar higher and higher. They're not going to just stay to the same standard. They're going to keep working to get to that next level up. And that's the same thing like for people who are doing martial arts. They want to get to that black belt. So in order to get to that black belt level, it's going to take a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and dedication, and a lot of practice on those techniques, doing those techniques constantly over and over and over again. It's repetition. Repetition is what gets you to that next level constantly. So you got to remember, the more you do repetition on things, same thing like when you go to the gym, you're lifting weights. You're always increasing the rep set. Every time you go, you set up. I started off with this much, I did this many sets. Next time you go, I'm going to add maybe 2-3 more sets on top of that. Next time you go, another 2 or 3 more. Or soon I'm going to add 5 more sets to that. And that's the reason why a lot of these bodybuilders set goals for themselves. They keep upping to that next level, that next standard. And that's the reason why, like, I respect a lot of these bodybuilders' train of thought. Like, they don't just go, oh, I'm going to stay just at those reps constantly every day. No, they keep elevating it. That's why they're where they're at with their physique, because they kept leveling it up every single time. They didn't just stay to the same point. They just kept moving on. So, like, just remember, like, you gotta keep pushing and keep setting the bar high if you want to keep getting more successful and all that. Another thing is, like, find a relationship with, like, God, because God's also going to help you with your train of thought process to get to that next level as well. Because it's important to have that communication with God, whether it is praying or you want to read the gospel and really get to know him, because that's the only way you're truly going to get to know him, is by reading the gospel, praying. Because without doing those two things, you're not going to get that real connecting bond that you want with him. So it's important to do that. Another thing is, like, don't let people get to you. If people don't like you or whatever, that's on them. Like, there's nothing you can do to change that. I don't even care whether people like me or not. Like, everyone has insecurities. Like, I have my own insecurities. Every man has their own insecurities. Even women have their own insecurities that they deal with. But, like, it's important to tackle your insecurities head on, though. Just remember, like, people will walk all over you if you keep letting them see your insecurity. So remember that. So if I knew what I knew now, I would probably be in a better place in life. Like, but I allowed my insecurities back when I was younger to get in my way. So that's the reason why it's important to tackle your insecurities. Get over them. Just realize, why am I being so insecure for? Like, these are certain things, like, you can't change. That's just life. Like, I can't change how tall I am. There's times where I wish I was 6 foot, but no, that's just not in my family DNA. It's not in my genetics. That's why I was no taller than 5'8". Now that I'm getting older, I've shrunk. Now I'm down to 5'7". When I was younger, I was 5'8". And you gotta remember, as you get older, you'll shrink. So you're not, like, if you're used to being like 6 foot, eventually you're gonna drop down to like 5 foot something, like 5'12", or something like 5'11", or whatever it is. Like, you will eventually lose height, but you're not going to lose like a lot of height, but you're going to shrink over time as you get older. That's just part of life as you get older. Like, and as far as, like, a lot of men are insecure about, like, the size of their schlong. All I can say is, like, sometimes you're not in control of that. That's just family. That's just genetic. Like, sometimes you can't control how big it's gonna be or whatever. Like, and don't allow that to be your major insecurity. And just like some of you women, don't let your breasts be like your insecurity, like, where, like, you feel like, oh, I don't have this. Don't worry about things like that. Over time, you're gonna get over those insecurities. Don't let those insecurities brainwash you. Don't let it mess with your psyche, because the second you allow your insecurities to keep messing with your psyche, you're always going to be unhappy. You're always going to be depressed. You're always going to think you're not good enough. And these are all tricks of the devil. The devil wants you to think these things. The devil wants you to feel insecure, because he feeds off of insecurity. He feeds off of the negative vibes that you're thinking. He wants you to keep doing that, because now he has more in control of your life. And for those of you out there who are suffering from corn addiction, or they're just suffering from, like, sex addiction in general, trust me, there's ways to get help for those things. I know a lot of us men, and there are some women out there that do suffer from watching adult video content on some of these websites, and we get sucked into it. And just remember, like, there's ways to get over that addiction. You just gotta fight. You gotta really be tough on yourself. Like, and if you need help and you're one of those church going men or women, you're suffering, you're struggling with that, talk to your elders. Like, talk to your church elders, talk to the prayer team, like have them pray over you. Like, find someone that's dealing with the same situation as you, so that way that person and you can keep each other accountable for those situations. So sometimes it's good to have someone that is dealing with the same battle you're dealing with, because then you can keep each other accountable for trying to get over that. Like that's a big problem for a lot of people. It's not just men that deal with that type of problem. Women deal with it too. Like, everyone deals. There's a lot of people that deal with it. It's just men are more at the forefront of that addiction than women, but there are some women that deal with that too. They deal with that addiction as well. It's just they try to hide it a lot more because deep down they feel more ashamed of it. Where us men, like, we think it's normal, we think it's okay to just keep doing that, and what we don't realize, every time we're watching that, a piece of us is dying inside. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not perfect. There's times where I fell into that trap, and I can honestly say, like, it eats me away. Like, it really hurts me. It, like, really eats away at my soul, like, to the point where, like, I'm always saying, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with myself? And, like, it's very important to, like, face these sins head on, so that way you know you have to fight this, and God's there to help fight with you. You just gotta let the Holy Spirit in to help you fight it, because you can't just do it alone. You do need help from the Holy Spirit to fight these battles. You do need help with the Holy Spirit to fight a lot of your sins and temptations that you're falling into. So, like, it's very important to pray and ask the Holy Spirit to help you with these things, because, like, you're not going to just be able to do everything on your own. You're going to need spiritual help. So it's important to get that spiritual help. If spiritual help is not enough, seek professional help. Like, if you need, like, guidance on, you're dealing with certain mental disorder problems, whether it's like bipolar, or you're dealing with just severe depression, talk to a counselor, like, talk to a psychiatrist, talk to anyone that is a professional that can actually help you. It may not seem at first they're helping you, but if you give it a little more chance and time, I promise you, you'll start seeing results. But you gotta be honest, not just with yourself, but you gotta be honest with them. You gotta let them know what's going on, so that way they can figure a way to help you. They're not gonna be able to help you if you're gonna hide certain things from them, or if you're not going to tell them the full truth of how you're feeling inside. They can't help your mind if you don't tell them everything what's going on in your mind and how you feel inside. No psychiatrist, psychologist, or counselor is going to be able to help you if you can't be 100% with them, because it's very important to do that if you really want that help and you really want to start feeling better. So, like, just start being honest, especially those of you who go see a psychiatrist once a month and you check in, or those who do twice a week or twice a month. Like, make sure you're always telling everything, so that way they can help you. And if you don't want to take medication, just say, hey, I want to do this, but I want to try not taking medication, because there may be an alternative way that they can help you without having to prescribe a prescription for you. So, like, that's only if it's possible, because there are some certain mental illnesses they have to prescribe something. They can't just treat you without prescribing something. So there's certain mental illnesses that are that way where they have to prescribe something. They can't not prescribe you with something just because it's that severe. Just remember, like, there's always someone out there that's willing to listen. If you need to talk to somebody or you need somebody, there's always help out there. Even like if you're unsure, you're just having bad feelings and you just don't know what else to do, go, like, if you feel all alone, like you feel like you're in a dark place and you're walking on the street, don't hesitate to even walk into a police station. There's officers there who would be more than happy to try to talk you down and listen to you and help you any way they can. Not all cops are bad people. There are some really, really good police officers out there. Trust me, there are some really good ones out there that understand. They know what's going on. Even some of them deal with their own depression too. So, like, don't think that they don't deal with personal problems like that either. A lot of them do. Like, you'd be surprised how many police officers, firefighters, even EMTs deal with survivor's guilt, because like that's a huge problem with, especially with a lot of the police officers and firefighters. They deal with a lot of survivor's guilt, which is a form of PTSD. Like, same thing with the military soldiers. They deal with survivor's guilt. Anytime someone that they're very, very close to died right in front of them or in their arms, there's a part of them that feels, why not me? Why them, not me? And you gotta remember, like, it hurts them a lot. They deal with it a lot. Like, survivor's guilt is a serious situation for a lot of those men, women who've lost somebody, that are law enforcement, military, firefighters. They deal with a lot of that. Trust me. Like, you'd be surprised how many stories they have that they could probably share with you. So don't think you're alone if you're dealing with depression. Like, if you need help, like, even like if you see like a officer sitting in their patrol car and you feel like you need help and you don't know how to go about it, talk to them. I promise you they could probably get you where you need to go, or they can radio and ask where you can get help for that. So, like, don't think that they're just there to just try to get people and just give them tickets and whatever. No, they're also there to serve. They're not just there to just arrest people. There are some good officers out there who genuinely actually care. They actually do want to help. They do want to make the world a better place. It's just there's always some that give it a bad name, and there's a lot of bad officers out there, but there's also a lot of good officers out there that actually genuinely care. Same thing like with military. There are some very genuinely good people in the military, and there's some very toxic bad ones out there. So, like, that comes with anything. There's always good and bad people everywhere. It doesn't matter what it is. There's always that one bad apple. But just remember, you're not alone if you're really going through a dark time. And for those who don't have a lot of friends, like people like me who don't have a lot of friends, and sometimes you just don't want a lot of friends. Like, I'm one of those people, I don't want a lot of friends because of what I went through with my relationship, with my ex cheating on me with someone that I thought was my best friend. I decided not to have friends anymore. Like, to me, friends just come and go, and it's just irrelevant with me. Like, I could just say maybe 2-3 people the most that I can honestly say are a friend, and the rest are just foes. They're just people more acquaintance than anything. And like that's the only thing. Like other than that, like I don't want a lot of friends. Like I don't want sympathy, I don't want pity, I don't want people to feel sorry just because of all that. It's just, it is what it is, pretty much. Like with me, my concern is trying to help people, because like to me, I'd rather help someone and then be selfish about always me, when there's people out there who have it worse than me. So that's the reason why, like, I don't like people feeling sorry for me. I don't like pity. I don't like what I like to say is a pity party. I don't like pity parties. I don't like when people want people to feel sorry for them, because that is not going to solve anything. That's not going to help you grow. If you want a pity party or you want someone to feel sorry for you, that's not going to help the situation. What's really going to help the situation is not feeling sorry for yourself, not expecting a pity party, not expecting people to feel sorry for you. Like if you want those things, and I'm sorry, you're always going to be depressed and miserable with your life until you self-care and learn to quit having pity on yourself. You can't pity yourself and you can't feel sorry for yourself. You got to ante up and do it and get over whatever it is that's affecting you. If you're having a hard time doing it on your own, go seek help. Go talk to a psychiatrist. Go talk to a psychotherapist or a counselor, someone. Or if you can't afford those services, I'm sure there's an app out there somewhere where you can pay the less of the money and actually get help and get connected to someone that is licensed as a psychiatrist or has a psychology major that can actually speak with you and help you. There are some people out there that are on some of those apps that they're cheaper services, they're affordable, where it could be like you're only spending like a little over $40 a month, and you can see them as many times as you need to see them. So like that's one thing to look into if you really need help and you can't afford the actual services to go into an actual physical office because they charge too much. Like me, I'm probably gonna look for one of those myself, because I might even do it before I go into a psychiatrist appointment. I have one in April because that was the earliest that they could get me in for a new patient, but I might try to do it before that because I feel my depression's getting really out of hand personally. So like I feel I may do it sooner than that. I may just do it on my own and go and download one of those apps and talk to a licensed psychotherapist or a psychiatrist or a counselor to see if they can tell me what it is that I'm dealing with, what's causing my depression. Because I feel like I may have bipolar disorder, because I do have some of the characteristics of that. So I may talk to them about that, see if they can notice any of those traits in me. Maybe I might have that. So like it's important to understand certain signs, so that way you can maybe say, could you maybe check to see if I have signs of bipolar disorder? So then that way, if I do, or if you think you do and they notice that, then they can actually properly try to diagnose you and go, yes, you have this, or no, you don't have this, but you may have this. So like it's important to do that, and it's important to get 2 to 3 different opinions, because don't just go with the one opinion, because it's still important to seek another opinion as well for that as well. So just remember that. And like don't worry so much about what gender it is. Like you're just for the time being, if you want diagnosis, just see anyone to get that proper diagnosis. Me, like, I'm not going to care whether if it's a male or female for a psychiatrist or a psychotherapist, just because, like, in the end, they're there to help. It doesn't matter of the gender. Like, if I feel more comfortable than with a man, I'm gonna go with the man. If I feel comfortable with the woman, I'm gonna go with the woman. Like, to me, I'm comfortable with whatever. Like, I've had female doctors before. Like, I've had physicals. I've gotten physicals done where they've done the inspections and stuff. And when I was younger, I had one done. The most embarrassing thing happened. She said, "Don't worry about it. You're young. It happens." And like, and I'm not gonna lie, the female doctor was attractive, but I was a young kid at the time, so it was kind of embarrassing at that time. But she was smiling. She said, "Don't worry about it. It happens." But yeah, but just remember, like, don't like put off health problems too long, because the longer you put it off, the more severe it can get. Like, I even have a bad habit of pushing things away, pushing off stuff, and now that I'm getting older, I'm realizing I can't keep doing that, because I'm not that young 20s, early 30s man anymore. I'm literally in my early 40s. Like, before I know it, I'm going to be pushing in my 50s. So, like, for me, time is on the essence of making sure that I am taking care of myself. So just remember, it's important to take care of yourself. Don't beat around the bush on things. Try to take care of them right away. Like, even you have some insecurities, fight your insecurities. Try to push through them and not let them affect you and get in your way, because the second you allow to keep letting your insecurities get in your way, you're no longer going to be able to be happy. You're no longer going to be able to adapt with anything, because you're allowing that to keep getting in the way. So don't let your insecurities keep getting the best of you. You just got to get over them. You got to fight them and push through and get over them, because it's not going to be easy. Trust me, I'm still fighting through a lot of my insecurities, because being cheated on really messed with my psyche quite a bit, where, like, I have so many insecurities. I'm not gonna lie, I have a lot of insecurities that I'm still working on getting over. So I don't want people to think I'm perfect. No one's perfect. We all have insecurities that we're still working on. We're still pushing through. We're still trying to get over them. So, like, don't let your insecurities wreck things. And for some of you who are married, do not keep your insecurities private with each other. Share them, but don't use them as ammunition to hurt the person either, though, because you're supposed to, if you're married, you're supposed to love your wife or your husband 100%, even with their insecurities. You don't use their own insecurities against them to belittle them. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be supportive regardless. And you don't bring down your spouse. You're supposed to uplift them no matter what the thing is. And if you're out with friends, do not embarrass your spouse. Don't humiliate them. And that goes both ways. That goes both man with the woman and woman with the man. Do not bash your spouse in front of friends. Don't embarrass them by taking pokes at their insecurities in front of their friends. They already know that's one of their insecurities. You don't need to broadcast it to everyone and humiliate them, because that's not cool. It's not nice, and that's what's going to make your spouse rethink being married to you. It's going to make them not even want to stay with you. They're actually going to decide, you know what, since this is how it seems that person really feels, I should just go see the divorce attorney and just get divorced. Because if you already pushed and threw that insecurity back in their face as a way of hurting them in front of people, you already caused the psychological damage. It's already been done. That's already collateral damage done. That's not fixable. Even if you go to counseling for it, that counselor or that psychologist or the psychotherapist might not even be able to help repair that, because the damage has already been far too done on that. The damage has already caused a casualty to the point where if it's the guy, he already feels hopeless now because you insulted him, and vice versa. The wife feels very belittled because of what you said to her belittled her to the point where it may not be repairable. So words do hurt. So that's the reason why it's very important to think about what you say to somebody before you do it. Don't use people's insecurities as ammunition to hurt them. If you love that person, if you truly love that person, you accept their insecurities, but you don't use it as ammunition to hurt them or belittle them or bring them down. You're supposed to love them no matter what it is. And for women, like, if your fantasy is to be with a guy with a bigger size penis, do not embarrass your husband by telling them that and saying things like, oh, I wish you were bigger, because you know what, that's going to hurt him, not just emotionally, psychologically. That's going to be embedded in their brain forever, and they're not going to be able to recover and bounce back from that because you just caused that damage. And vice versa to the man telling a woman, especially if it's their wife, oh, you're too loose, I wish you were tighter or whatever. Guess what? Now you just create psychological damage for them to the point where they're not gonna know what to do anymore. They're gonna feel less. They're gonna feel worthless. Just like the guy feels worthless when a woman tells them about their size pecker. But just remember, like, words hurt. So be mindful of the things you say to your spouse. And if you're in a relationship and it's just boyfriend, girlfriend, be mindful of what you say to your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Be mindful. Like, if you truly love each other, you wouldn't say things to hurt each other. Yeah, it's okay to get in arguments. Arguments are healthy in relationships as long as it's not an everyday. If you're arguing every day, then it's time to end that relationship, because it's going to become very, very toxic and it's not going to get any better. So start being mindful. And I'm noticing a lot, especially with this younger generation, all these relationships are so toxic where everyone is bashing and belittling their partner on social media, and it's sad seeing all these things. Like, back when I was younger and when I was dating and when I was an adult, like, we didn't do things like that. We didn't waste time with social media. Like, I remember when MySpace first came out. Like, I used it here and there, and I got to the point I stopped using social media for a while. Like, even when Facebook came out, I had one back when it first started. I hardly used it. because I could have cared less about those things. Like, to me, if it were up to me, I wouldn't have social media at all. Like, I really think social media has caused so much damage that all this collateral damage that's been done because of social media is not repairable. It's unrepairable, honestly, in my opinion. So, like, that's the reason why, like, it's important to be mindful of the things you do and the things you say, and especially don't do these stupid TikToks at these businesses to cause problems, because there's people there who are genuinely there to get the item that they purchase and leave. They're not there to see you do stupid things to gain views. Like, I'm not interested in seeing stupidity like that. I'm sorry. I don't want to see something stupid like that. I don't want to see some woman or guy doing something stupid just for views on TikTok. Like, if you want to do something stupid, like, do it at your house. You don't need to do it in the actual place of business where people are actually trying to get the item they purchased. That's just outright dumb. Or if you want to do something, like, do it in your backyard or whatever. Like, but don't do it in a place of business. Have some kind of respect. Like, have respect for that business and have respect for those employees who are trying to serve the actual customers, where the customers are actually trying to get their item and go, because they may have to actually get to work. They're probably already running late to work and you're holding them up because you want to shoot some stupid video. Like, I'm sorry, that's not of importance. There's people who actually are breaking their back because they actually have bills they have to pay. They have, some of them actually have child support they have to pay, so they have to bust their butt off every day just to make that money, so that way they can take care of that person that they have to pay the child support for. So, like, be mindful of those things. Like, man, it's ridiculous that people think it's more important to shoot a TikTok video in a place of business than be mindful of the customers who purchase something. They want to get their thing when their name gets called so they can leave. Like, be mindful, people. Like, this is another thing. People are so poorly mannered. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, how this younger generation just has no respect. And a lot of it is because they have no self-respect for themselves. Because if they did, they wouldn't be doing stupid things like they're doing right now on social media. Because anyone that has real true self-respect would have respect for the person behind them that's buying something. So, and they would move out of the way and they would wait to do that video outside somewhere. And then I saw another stupid video, like, it was on YouTube, where some girl was doing a TikTok on, like, a major street. I don't know what state it was in, but someone was trying to go through because the light was green and they hopped her and she's like, and she cussed at him like, I'm trying to shoot a video. And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, you really want to get ran over making a stupid video? Like, seriously. Like, I was just shaking my head. It was like in one of those East Coast states, because if it is somewhere out west, they would have just plowed you over. They wouldn't have cared. They would have just they would have plowed into you and just drove off, just because of the fact that you're standing in the middle of a traffic light trying to do a stupid TikTok video. Like, come on. Like, it's like some of these people today have no brain cells in their head. Like, they just want to shoot the video and do something stupid. And I'm just like, seriously. And it just makes me want to go beetle-headed. Come on, like, wake up. But, like, yeah. And I don't get why it's so important to shoot that video. Like, it makes no sense to shoot a video, like, over what you want a views on your TikTok because you want to do a stupid video of crossing the crosswalk on a street when it wasn't time for you to cross the crosswalk because the light was green. Like, come on. Anyways, like, I just wish people would be more mindful of their actions and be more considerate and more respectful. It's just like, it's getting worse by the day. And it's gotten to the point where I don't even want to deal with the stupidity of people. Like, I've lost, like, so much patience with stupidity because now this day and age people think it's funny to act stupid, where in my opinion it's not funny to act stupid. I don't find it funny. I don't find it cute. And if you trying to do it to think it's cute, I'm sorry. It's cute when it's a little kid doing something, but when it's a full-grown adult, I don't find it funny and I don't think it's cute. I think it's time for you to grow up. Plain and simple. It's okay to joke around. It's okay to make jokes. It's okay to make things funny and have people laugh. But when it's to be obnoxiously, in an obnoxiously way, it's not funny. It's not cute. It's stupid. Plain and simple. And that's where I'm going to tell you, grow up. You're not in high school anymore. Start acting like you're an adult, not some high school kid. And that's the thing, some of these adults still act like they're still in high school. I'm sorry, if you're over the age of 24, it's time to put on your adult pants and start acting like a mature adult, not some high school idiot. It's one thing if you want to act like an idiot and you're still in high school, that's normal, that's fine. That's part of being in high school. You're going to be a prankster, or you're going to be one of those people that does the most stupid things, but it's funny. That's part of high school. Yeah, you're going to deal with that. But as an adult, as soon as you're pushing 24, 25, it's time to leave immature high school things alone. It's time for you to put on your adult pants and start acting like an adult. That's just how I feel, plain and simple. And to me, the whole rating system on looks is just ridiculously stupid in my opinion. I could care less about looks. Like me, I don't care if a woman was blind. I don't care if a woman is in a wheelchair. I don't care if a woman is somewhat overweight. If she has a good heart, a good personality, and I see the beauty just in her eyes and her heart and the face, I'm going to give them the opportunity and the chance. Plain and simple. And they could be like what people say, oh, it's a 4 or 3. If to me they look good and they have a good heart and personality, I would give them that opportunity and a chance. I don't care. But the way things are today, woman has too high standards and they need to start lowering their standards more. And this is why a lot of us good men are in hiding, because we don't want to waste our time with not just rejection, we just don't want to deal with the high demands of what you ladies want, with the looks and with how much money you want them to make, and you care about how tall they are or something like that. Like, a man can't change how tall they are. Like, if it's a good man and it's someone that you're looking for, but you're not going to date them because they're not tall enough, you are an idiot. I'm sorry. You're the biggest idiot out there, not the guy. You are. You're the idiot. Because you care more about the height than. Because if you genuinely wanted a good guy, you could find a good guy that has all the traits that you want, but you're not giving that person a chance because of their height. You are a fool. And you're going to continue walking around like a fool, because God's going to let you walk like a fool. A fool will always walk like a fool. A godly person is not going to walk like a fool, and they're not going to care about how tall someone is. If it's the traits that they wanted are there, they're going to date that man or that woman, and it's not going to matter if the height or the weight. Because if you care that much and you say that you're a godly person, you're God-fearing, you're not truly God-fearing. You're not truly a godly person, because you're caring about how someone looks, or if they're not tall enough, you're not going to mess with them. I think you need to wake up more and smell the coffee, because that's utterly ridiculous that you're going to not give a guy a chance because they're not tall enough. Like, it's funny, especially when some of these women who are 5 foot, who are some of them that are talking, I want a guy that's 6 foot. Yeah. What good is that gonna benefit you? Like, if they don't have the characteristics of the personality that you want. They have the height, but if they don't have the personality you want, what good is it going to do you? Where if, let's say, the guy that's maybe 6 more inches taller than you has the personality that you're looking for, but you're not going to give them a chance because they don't have that height, that is just stupid. That just makes absolutely no sense to me, and it's just stupid. Where me, if there's a woman that was way taller than me, had the personality I was looking for, I would snatch that woman up quicker than snatch a woman up that's doesn't have those personalities that I'm looking for, and it's just the height. That's just stupid. I'd rather have the woman that I have the chemistry with and has the personality that I'm looking for. If I'm not looking for looks, like, looks to me is secondary, because you may have all this beauty on the outside, but if you have a nasty demeanor on the inside, you're realistically ugly. And to me, that shows me that you're not a 10. You're really a 0. And I will tell you that straight up, because if you don't have a good personality, you're a 0. Plain and simple. If you don't have a good heart, you're a 0. You're not a 10. I don't care how beautiful you are, because beauty only goes so far in life. We're not always going to keep our youthful appearances forever. We will age over time. And if you think plastic surgery is the answer, no, it isn't. Because over time, if you do too many plastic surgeries, you could actually end up either dead or having things not look good after you've done it. I'm just saying. So be mindful, like, be smart. Go, if you want a certain personality, choose that over how the height is. If it's a guy, let's say you're a woman that's 5'10", and you want a guy that has a good personality, and you want that to be nice, be good to you, and blah blah blah, but if he's not tall enough, do not give that person a chance, because they could probably grow on you, like to the point where you're not going to care about the height. But if that bothers you that much, then I'm sorry, you're not out looking for true happiness. You're looking out for what will please you temporarily, to the point where you're going to get bored, or that guy's going to get bored with you and kick you off to the curb, and he's going to move on to something else. So just be smart, be mindful, be willing to bring your standards down just a notch. I'm not saying bring it down all the way down, but I'm saying bring it down just a notch. Because if you're really truly looking for a good man, we are out there. But the reason why we're harder to find is we do not want to deal with all of your list of demands. If you're going to be one of those people who wants demands like a dictator, I'm sorry, you're going to be alone and miserable, because we're not going to waste our time with that. And if height is really the big deal, then I'm sorry, you're never going to find true happiness. You may think you are, you're not. Because you're always going to be the one that ends up on social media going, why can't I find a good man? And then some of the guys out there that are doing the same thing going, why can't I find a good woman? It's going to be the same scenario for you. So don't go on social media broadcasting that, what you want and what you need. Because if you really want and need those things, it will happen when you don't look. Don't look. Let it happen naturally. Because if you gotta go and look, it's not gonna happen. Like, I don't care like how hard you try to go and look, you're not gonna find what you're looking for. You gotta let it come to you. Like, especially guys, my advice to you, play hard to get now. Don't go after every single woman you see because she looks good and this and that, because a lot of times when you do that now, it comes up as you're being thirsty. So don't do it. Revert to not even going up and flirting with them, because they're hoping that's what you do, just so that way they can reject you. So don't. It's a game. Right now, with this new generation of women, it's a game to them. So don't fall into that game. Ignore it. Don't even buy into it, because I don't. If I feel a woman's interested, she's going to need to prove to me why I should give her the time or the day, because I'm not going to do it anymore. I already did that in my younger days, and then doing that is what ended up me getting cheated on. So that's the reason why, no. If you know what you're worth, stay at what you know you're worth. Don't even waste the energy, because if you're destined to be single, then you're destined to be single. But if God wants you to have someone, God will provide that girlfriend or wife to you. Don't go looking. Let God provide it for you. You just gotta be patient. Like, I'm being patient right now. As much as I really want to be with someone, at the same time, I'm going to let it be in God's hands, not mine. That's the reason why, like I'm in no rush. There's a part of me, I wanna things to happen fast because of my age, but at the same time, I'm going to leave it in God's hands. If it's time for me to be with someone, God will make it happen. If it's time for me to succeed in certain things, God will let it happen. I just need to be patient about it, just like anything in life. patience is a virtue in anything that you do. So it's important to really live a godly life and just let God take over. But anyways, I've been on here for over an hour, 20 minutes almost, just about. So I'm probably gonna get off of here, and I hope y'all have an awesome day. And just remember, be mindful, do a lot of self-care, love yourself, be happy with yourself, pay yourself compliments, and try to fight your insecurities, because I know I'm still fighting my insecurities, and I'm not gonna give up fighting my insecurities, because I'm not gonna allow my insecurities to define who I am, and I'm not gonna let it get in my way. So all of you do the same thing, both men and women. Fight your insecurities, get through it. Don't let it get in the way, because the second you allow your insecurities to get in your way, you're losing that battle. So don't let the insecurities get to you. And guys, quit letting if your biggest insecurity is the size of your unit, don't let it bother you too much, because it can't be controlled. Just remember, it can't be controlled, man. Like, I used to be so insecure about it, but at the same time, it's like, it can't be controlled. We just gotta be happy with what God gave us, and it is what it is. Like, yeah, there are surgeries out there for that, but you gotta remember, you gotta look into what are the serious side effects, because some of those surgeries do cause ED. Some of them actually do cause you to lose feelings. So like, you gotta be mindful. So like, there are side effects to doing those surgeries for enlargement. So just be mindful of that and look into the side effects of that. If you're really thinking about doing that, consult a plastic surgeon, ask them the side effects, because I promise you they're probably going to tell you some of those same things. So just be mindful of that, you guys. And don't worry so much about your size. And if a woman doesn't appreciate you for you and cares too much about the size, then that's not the right woman. That's the time for you to jump ship and leave her. And ladies, if the man doesn't respect what you have, and you're worried about your breast size and you wish you had bigger breasts and this and that, find someone that doesn't care. Find someone that will accept you for you and appreciate what you do have. Because sometimes altering, changing things may not be the best for your person, for your psyche, for your personality. But if you know that's something you've always wanted to do, and you know you'll be happy, and if it makes you happy, then that's fine. But if you're only doing it just because you want men to like you, that's not the right way to go about it, ladies. Seriously, it isn't. If that guy doesn't appreciate the way you look now, then even if you change, they're still not going to appreciate you. So just be mindful of that, ladies, because I don't want y'all to think that I'm picking on y'all, because I don't like picking on either race, because I feel like we all have our own insecurities. We all have our own issues. There's things that men do better, there's some things women do better. So like, to me, I don't care about sex, like this, what each gender can do. Like, I don't care about those things. Like, and like, my recommendation, especially for relationships, like, if you're a Christian that's dating and you're in a relationship, best advice I can give you before I head off of here is don't engage in intercourse. Wait until marriage. I wish I would have just waited until I found the right one and got married with, but things happen. But just be mindful and do what God has in plan for you. Try to live a godly life. That's all I gotta say. Everyone, have a good day, and I'll catch y'all later. I'm gonna try to be on tomorrow evening. I don't know, but if there's something you'd like me to discuss or talk about, just let me know. As far as that, have a good one, you guys. I'm out. Peace.